You are watching the Learn, Grow, Repeat with J. Marie and Laditeesh podcast channel. We hope that you are inspired, encouraged, and even entertained. Be sure to hit the like button, leave us a comment, and join our online tribe by hitting subscribe. Let's get into it.
Hey,
Hey.
what's going on? A lot, child. I know.
Oh,
I
goodness.
know.
Oh,
I
goodness.
know. But before we actually get into the conversation today, I just want to remind the listeners about hashtag yes sis. We need you guys to seriously look a sister out. If you come across something on social media that truly inspired you, encouraged you, be sure to tag the show at Learn, Grow, on Repeat with the hashtag yes sis so that we can see it, be encouraged, because it truly takes a village. We say that all the time, and then share it to the podcast. So had to get that out the way.
Yes, sis.
So today we're going to talk about ugly duckling, or I don't know, feeling unattractive. Like what that's all about. You know what I mean? So
I mean, all of us have felt, I truly believe we all have felt unattractive and at one time or another. I know I haven't at different, different points in my life. How about you?
Absolutely. I said, we joked about it in episode 1. We in the game Never Have I Ever, that was one of your questions. Have you ever felt unattractive? And we said we was going to talk about this. So let's talk about it. My response actually to your question was absolutely, and at different parts of my life. So I guess let's start in the beginning, right?
In the beginning. Once
in the
upon a
beginning.
time.
Right. And it definitely started growing up for me. I would say elementary years, those formative years, you know what I mean? Like it's no secret, I am extremely melanated, you know what I mean? And I would honestly say that my parents did an absolutely phenomenal job, my mom and my dad, making my siblings and I aware that, we were created in the image of God, and that we shouldn't care a lick, you know what I mean, about what anybody thought of us. Your parents are supposed to, tell you those kind of things. But they really did drill that into us. So I would say that I never really felt ugly. Like I never thought that I was ugly, but I felt unattractive. And what I mean by that is that I felt that other people didn't think that I was pretty. I thought I was, but other people didn't. So that's what I battled with. And that obviously, affected my confidence, my self-esteem. But one thing I was sure of was that, no, I'm pretty. Like they just don't see it. You know what I mean? And I felt insecure about that. So that was my growing up experience with feeling unattractive. How about you?
I mean, I can relate in a major way because I was always told how I was pretty and growing up, I was reminded of that all the time. But I would have to say again, in the elementary time, I didn't think I was ugly. I didn't like certain features of myself from my nose, and I hated my complexion. And I hated my complexion so much because it just felt like the light-skinned girls got all the attention. The boys paid attention to the light-skinned girls. And unfortunately, that grew with me for a while because even as I got into high school and college and started dating, and I noticed that even in, which I've shared in the previous episode, how, I've been cheated on in every relationship that I fully had. Each time I was cheated on was always with a light-skinned girl that I always thought was not cuter than me. Like she just lighter than me. She wasn't cuter than me, So it stayed with me for a long time. Like I carried this towards light-skinned women because I'm like, they not all that. Like, you know what I'm saying? But it really shouldn't be a divide, but it's so it is a reality. I
I
feel
was
like,
gonna say that. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I don't want to make it seem like, because it's probably gonna come up more than once,
mm-hmm,
but I don't want to make it seem like we are bashing light-skinned women, because that's absolutely not the case here. But the
mm-mm,
reality of women, Black women who are darker hue and who, we are often overlooked and compared, to women who, were lighter than us. And that's just the reality of it. You know what I mean? So it's definitely no shade thrown the other way. This is just the real life experience. So I just want to
it's the truth. Yeah. It's just our reality. And I know there are some that can relate to it. And, and colorism is a real issue. It's a real thing. Like colorism is a real thing in the Black
absolutely.
community. And, you know, I know men have colorism too, but it's opposite if you notice. Like it's like the darker guys are like they always in. They be like light skinned guys is out. Like they not in no more. They not in style. You know what I'm saying? While on the women end, it's all about the lighter women or the
That's interesting. Like I never actually heard a guy speak to that. Like they'll joke about it, but I've never heard a guy like seriously speak to that. Like, oh no, light skin is out, dark skin is in. Like that's rooted in something.
I haven't heard anyone seriously say that, but I've seen even on social media, I've seen comments about how, they make fun of the lighter skinned male, but on the flip end, it's the lighter skinned women. You know what I'm saying? It's like, or mixed women. And then, back in the day, I hear these things all the time because, I may not be chocolate as because I get this all the time. You're not dark skin. You like right in the middle. I'm like, what? I'm like, no, I'm dark skin. No, you're not. You're like right in the middle. And that's because my mom isn't as dark as my dad is. So I got a little combination, but I still struggle with it. I'm still not high yellow as they call it. So I struggled with it. And I always felt like, I had to have to be a step ahead. Like as long as, if I could dress right and well put together and I got a nice shape and a nice body, that I could compete. And that should have never been my thinking, but it was for a very long time, if I'm going to be transparent here. And that made me feel like, okay, maybe I'm not. And it was a battle, an internal battle, because it's like, wait a minute, I know I'm cute. You see these dimples and these high cheekbones? We both got cheekbones. That's the small side.
That's a small thing.
Yeah. That's the small side, So I didn't recognize my beauty until I got older. So
I always saw, that I was pretty. It was hurtful that other people didn't. Like I would rather not even, be amongst certain individuals, knowing that, I wasn't accepted because of the color of my skin, or I wasn't deemed popular or attractive due to the darkness on my skin. So I pretty much stayed to myself. And this was in elementary school, high school. Like I kept a small circle around me because I felt that all that exposure would just expose me again to more rejection. And I'm that way to this day. Like my circle is just so small. Because again, I do appreciate, quality over quantity. But I do think that it stemmed from that fear of rejection due to the way I was perceived based on the color of the darkness of my skin. So, we don't think about these things and how every experience is tied to some kind of action. You know what I mean? Every action is tied to some kind of experience. And you could trace it all the way back to those formative years, you know what I mean? Elementary school, when, kids are going to be kids. Like I remember one time, the teacher left the classroom and one of the class clowns, he got up and drew me on the blackboard. And of course, left my face, black as the blackboard. And it was like, who this y'all? Who's this? And it's like, so like I had experience like that. Yeah, but I had thick skin. I'm telling you, my dad, he didn't play. Like he did not play. And he definitely drilled it into us that you bet, with the Bible in his lap, he would tell us, you bet not give up about what anybody think about you. Like that's it. Like you just bet not. And he and it really stuck. You know what I mean? He drilled it into us. So I kept it moving. You know what I mean? I kept it pushing. And it really wasn't until like high school when I started getting the attention of, you know, of boys. And I would say a lot of it was, it kind of made me feel a little bit more insecure because that's when I started blooming, body shape. And you know, and though other people deemed it attractive as far as the different parts of my body, like, you know, the butt and the different, it made me feel so conscious. Like, it made me feel so uncomfortable because that's all silly young boys would, you know, talk about.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like, oh, she's gorgeous, she's pretty. It was like, yo, you see her butt? And I'm like, really?
And I have that similar situation because I was always made fun of. I was called popsicle stick. I was called all these different things in elementary school until 7th grade summer. Okay. Let me tell you about 7th grade summer. I came back and I went to Catholic school. I came
like
back. I had the little peekaboo was coming out. My little button down shirt, uniform shirt had a peekaboo. Now I had boobs out of nowhere. I went from t-shirts to a B cup. Like, it was like out of nowhere. And here I come. And now the high school kids across the street was on me now, all because of my boobs. And then it became, oh, you know, Jocelyn, the girl with the big boobs and the big smile. So I was known for having the big Kool-Aid smile and the boobs and being super thin. You know, and it didn't make me insecure or self-conscious. I took that and ran with it. Girl, bye. I was like, yes, I need this. I want this tube top. And Dee Dee was like, oh, you can wear that tube top. I was like, yes, I'm about to wear this. I'm about to roll this skirt up when the teacher walks by. I'm gonna be cute and I'm gonna be that one, and I'm gonna hang out with all the girls, the snooty girls that didn't like me and that used to make fun of me, and became cool with them and hung out with them. And was that the company I should have had? Absolutely not. No, if I knew what I knew now, I would have made different decisions. But again, you're young and you're still learning.
Right. And you want to fit in. You want to be part of the in crowd.
Especially when you've always been a part of the out crowd. And then also, too, I was the homie. I still am kind of in that role, too. I was all the popular guys' homie. Like, I would have crushes on them, and they would put me in this homie spot. Like, you the friend, you the girl with all the guys. And I'm like, how did I become the girl with all the guys all the time? And you know, that played a part too. Like, am I not pretty enough to be more than just a friend? Like, what is it, you know? So
no, yeah, it definitely though made me self-conscious too. Like, I can recall like just walking down the street, you know, going to the corner store and seeing a bunch of dudes, and I will always be so nervous for when I actually passed them, because they wouldn't try to talk to me until I passed them and they saw what I was packing in the bag. And I was just like I already know what's gonna happen. And it never failed. It never failed. So it made me, I got self-conscious too, because I knew it wasn't genuine. I knew you really wasn't into me. You was just into, you know, my body. And that was like, ew, no. You know what I mean? Like,
you did act like that though, because I recall one time you came to a basketball game at my high school, and you was walking up the steps with me, and this guy stopped me and was like, "Oh, that's your cousin. Tell your cousin." As soon as you walked up the stairs, I knew he saw your butt and your face. That expression right there, that face right there, you got right now. That's exactly how you was, and you looked at me like, "Seriously, Jocelyn? Like, for real?" I'm like, "I'm just saying."
Don't shoot the message up. Child, please. Like, no.
Like,
I'm saying, you know, out of all people, I was not beat. Like, no. No.
Join the conversation by emailing your questions to learn.grow.repeat@gmail.com. Be a part of our online tribe by following the podcast on Facebook and Instagram at Learn.Grow.Repeat. Now let's get into the episode.
Because then I would too get the stupid comment, "Oh, she pretty for a dark-skinned girl."
Oh, I got that.
And
too.
I'm like, was that supposed to be a compliment? Really? Like I never fed into that. I never accepted that because I was just like, again, my parents know you have value, you are beautiful, period. You know what I mean? That was always drilled in me. So that kind of stuff did like, no. You know, I wanted somebody who was into me, you know what I mean? And not just because of my body shape. So, and it's so ironic. It's so ironic because another period of my life when I felt unattractive was when I had children. And I gained so much weight, like with both my kids. And I was really, I'm 5'4", typically around 140, 145. That was my average weight. But with both my children, girl, 204, 205, like, and that's a major difference for somebody of my height. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like with my first child, like, I was unrecognizable. That's how big I was. And, you know, I had lost so much weight after I went in from fasting to exercising to like all of it. I went in to lose all of that weight. And I did it so drastically and so fast that I lost my shape. Like my butt was gone, like gone. And it didn't make me sad. Like, you know, some women like, oh, I lost. It did not make me sad. And I recall like you making comments too, like, dang, Tisha, what happened? It did not. Like, I didn't miss it. I did not miss it because it had brought so much, you know, like attention that I was not seeking. Yeah. That when it was gone, it was just like, whatever, you know what I mean?
Like, I wouldn't know how I would feel if my boobs ever went away because again, we're talking about from age 12 until now at 34.75 that I've had boobs. So God forbid, now I think they're too big now, but so they can get smaller, but not go away. Like, God forbid if they had to go away for any reason, I would think like a huge part of me would be gone, you know? And so I have a different outlook on my asset compared to how you looked at yours. And I guess I don't know. I didn't put a lot of value on it because honestly, they be in the way sometimes and I be wishing they weren't there like that. However, it has a lot of its benefits with it too, you know, because when you get a belly, if you got little chubby bubs, you got boobs, it camouflages it. It don't make it look as big. If I had little boobies, it'll make me look like I was pregnant when I really wasn't. You know what I'm saying? It's little things, little tricks of the trade. Like you gotta work with what you got, you know?
What you do. And you know what? It's like, that's 100% true. I think it's just when you get attention for it that's unwarranted, you know what I mean? And it makes that individual, you know, uncomfortable. And that's how I felt. Like that's truly how I felt. Now I wasn't wishing it away. It just happened to go away because of that, you know, drastic weight loss that, you know, I experienced after having my first kid, because I mean, I was huge and I felt I think that was the first time in my life where I not only felt unattractive, but felt unpretty. Like, and it wasn't because anybody around me was saying anything, because of course everybody loves a pregnant woman. Oh, you're glowing, you're good. I felt so unpretty because I had never been, you know, that size before, and all my features changed. And then too, I think it had a lot to do with just the hormonal changes, because it wasn't, I think it was, I took it the hardest after having my second child, because I had already experienced it. I had already lost the weight. And I started in the beginning of my second pregnancy, I was smaller than I was in my first pregnancy. So I was like, there's no way I'm going to get there again. Child, the day I go in to be like admitted into the hospital to give birth, same thing. And I was just like, how did you let this happen again, Laditeesh? Like, how?
You was eating good.
And I was going to say, I was a happy pregnant woman. I sure was. I had zero complications, zero, you know, morning sickness. I had zero migraines, which was huge for me because I suffered from, you know, migraines. So I was definitely a happy pregnant woman eating, but the weight was an issue for me, you know, and it was, after my second child, when I suffered from depression because of that. And I felt so unwanted. I felt so unwanted, so unpretty, and just where is my value? And I had never really, experienced it that deep. But yeah, after my second child, I can recall times where I locked myself in my bedroom and lay flat on my bed, staring at the ceiling, wondering who would miss me if I wasn't here anymore. That's how deep it was, And I don't know, you can really find yourself in a dark place when it comes to, feeling unpretty, feeling unattractive. I think mine was definitely coupled with depression at that point in time. So that was a really dark place for me.
Yeah.
Really dark place for me.
And I think that's something that people can relate to because, you probably had some postpartum depression going on with that too. I never gained weight pregnant, so I can't really relate to that. I lost weight with both of my children. So I actually am way more now than I've ever done pregnant. Okay, it's like once I got the kids out of my body, it was like it's on. Now I can eat again because I'm not sick. I was sick the entire time with both of my kids. And but I understand that feeling of just not feeling like yourself. Like it's a real thing. And people outside, around you, what is wrong with you? Why do you not feel that way? You're beautiful. You're this. My mom is my biggest cheerleader. She'll be quick to tell me how pretty I am, how beautiful I am. And I have the same with my father. He told me my whole life. So it's why do I crave for a man to desire me so much when my father has always told me, has always put that value in me. You know what I mean? So I could never understand it. I think I'm getting better with it. I'm embracing my melanin and all my little chunky curves and crevices and blemishes and stretch marks from the baby. And the man for me gonna love all of this. He gonna love all his belly.
Yeah.
He gonna love all this chocolate, and he gonna be great. Cause it's not all about that. And plus, I'm bad anyway. I'm a bad chick. And you so
absolutely. That's why I used to hate too. Whenever you would hear somebody say, "Oh, she thinks she all that." Am I supposed to? Am I supposed to think? I'm
in
not
a bag of chips.
In
a bag of chips.
Come on. So I mean, let's check that at the door. Am I supposed to think I'm all that? You know what I mean? But yeah, it really matters. 'Cause I think, people could tell you all day how beautiful you are, but if you don't believe it, that's falling on deaf ears.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's really important to take that. And that's the whole, reason why we wanted to do this podcast, you know what I mean? To talk about self-care and here we go, the word again, self-awareness, and just knowing yourself and being confident in the skin that you were created to be in. You know what I mean? God didn't make no mistake when he created Laditeesh. You know what I mean? And he took his time, and everything is where it's supposed to be. Everything looks the way it's supposed to look. You know what I mean? And I appreciate the time he took. You know what I mean? Because I am me. And it sounds so cliche, but I am the only Laditeesh who will walk this earth. Why not celebrate that? And for anybody to tell you it's not enough or it's not beautiful, they need to go kick rocks. Shame on you. Shame on you. And the colorism thing, racism, we're not even gonna touch on that.
Oh,
but
please,
that too, but it all plays a part. And it's not just in the African American community, because colorism exists in the Spanish community, in the Asian community, in the Indian community, all of them. That if your skin is, darker, that's a problem. You know what I mean? I think I read somewhere where I think in the Asian people group that the lighter your skin was, people felt like you had a high status, you were wealthy because you didn't have to go out and work. You know what I mean? So only the wealthy women were lighter because they were able to stay indoors. You know what I mean? So it happens everywhere. It happens everywhere, and it's a deep seated problem.
It is. It
And
is.
it's crazy. It's crazy that we're dealing with this still today. But it's most definitely a thing. It's a poison, a disease. It really is. It really is.
And I know back in the day, when I say back in the day, not necessarily our day, I'm talking about way back in the day, you know, people, especially in the Black community, they wanted to have children with lighter people so their children will be lighter. And I had to think in my mind, I didn't want my kids to come out lighter. Like, that was my thing. Please don't let me have no little light skinned girls. Cause I was like, please don't let me have no little light skinned girls. And I came out with some light skinned daughters, both of them. Like, it's amazing.
But what was your thinking behind that request?
Because I wanted to teach them, like, I wanted to teach them the value of the melanin in their skin.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I wanted to just give them what I didn't give me when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that, you know, as long as they are, you know, darker, then I can give them that. But because they didn't come out that way, I'm like, what is this all about? When I tell you, I had to hang up for a long time. I'm like, both of my grandmothers are light skinned. Both of my grandmothers. You know, my mom, like, I have aunts that are lighter. Like, it's around me. My best friend is light skinned. Like, so I've always been surrounded by it. And I just always felt like, you know, because guys thought they were more prettier and more beautiful than me, I always looked at myself like, why wasn't I lighter? Why am I, you know, dark like my father compared to light like my mom?
Mm-hmm.
I struggled with that for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
No, I would say in the past 5 to 10 years, I truly started to embrace all this chocolateness. Like, I'm milk chocolate. You hear me? You better come get this milk chocolate and stop playing.
Yeah. And I had a view of myself that way too. Like, yo, my skin, like, seriously, like, it's, and even when I look at other dark skinned women, I'm just like, oh my, I'm truly fascinated at just how beautiful they are. And, you know, it's not because, oh, that's the wave now. No, they've been beautiful and they are beautiful, you know, and sometimes it really is just mesmerizing. Like, oh my God, it's so beautiful. But I think really I feel that way too, because my mom is tall, dark skinned, curvy, you know what I mean? And she was my first human example of what was beautiful. She's my mother, you know what I mean? So I guess that's why having her as my example of beauty, and then my dad drilling into us, don't think about, you know, don't put a single weight on what anybody else thinks of you. Like, that is really why, you know, I feel like I was shaped in that way. Like, it just, I didn't want the attention. I was self-conscious, you know, with regards to my shape. And sometimes I felt unattractive because other people didn't think I was, you know, pretty. But it never subtracted from what I thought about myself. Like, it was just like, no, they just don't see it yet. And it's their loss.
And that is awesome. That is awesome that you could feel that way, because I like I said, I had a complete different experience as far as not what was inputted into me, because it was more so of caring of what other people thought of me, and putting so much value into that, like,
which we all do, because again, you know, it's kind of like, you know, human nature, and it takes intentionality to not fall into that trap. And today with social media and us scrolling through our phone, like, it'll make that any easier. You know what I mean?
Really,
you almost gotta be extremely intentional. Yeah.
It really doesn't. Like, it all the way down to, like, you know, I wear contacts. I've been wearing contacts since the junior prom, same color. This is just what it is. And I've gotten things about that too. You know, people stop me all the time, especially of other races. Like, oh my gosh, your eyes are beautiful. You're beautiful. Oh, please. I'm a white man's dream. I'm sorry. I hope I don't offend anybody by saying that, but white men love me. And like, oh my gosh, you're so beautiful. You're chocolate and you're this. And I'm like,
I'm sorry. I make faces. I'm sorry.
Like, yeah, okay, thank you. That felt weird, but thank you, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay. But it I forgot where I was going with this, but because that kind of distracted me. But yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, from the eyes, I got that. Then I had black men that said, "Oh, you're trying to be white because you have great eyes," and I'm like, my grandmother has green eyes in real life and red hair, so this can be believable. You know what I'm saying? So take this. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's always something. It don't matter if it's your skin or if it's this. Oh, or if you wear weave or if you're natural or if you. It's just somebody always gonna have something to say.
And it truly depends on the day and time too, because I feel like, at one point, if a girl didn't have her hair done, you know what I mean, and slayed, and she wore her natural style, oh my God, look at her hair. You know what I mean? It was frowned upon by men. And then now today, you wear weaves, wearing your, that European hair. You should wear your natural. Oh, so now my natural hair is beautiful. Like, if you keep putting what you do and don't do in the hands of other people, you're gonna be switching it up. Like, girl, like come on, don't give people that much power. Do you? And that's truly my life motto. If I want to wear a weave, guess what? He gonna wear a weave. If I want to wear it straight, I'm gonna wear it straight. If I want locks, I'm going to wear locks and add some color, whatever. Do you, and do not compare me. Don't put me in no box, and don't tell me what I can and cannot do. And I'm passionate about it because it happens all the time.
All the time. All my hair change, especially at work. So is that
your hair grows so fast? Oh my God, it sure does.
Is that a weave? Like, is that a weave or is that sewn in? It's mine. It's mine today, and you know it's gonna be changed next week because I change my hair all the time. I'll be black, brown, orange, blue, purple, and I'll be in weave. I'll have hair. I'll blow it out, straighten it, twist it up, natural out, throw it out, whatever. That's one of the perks of being an African American woman. Can't everybody do it? But
we're versatile. We are versatile.
We can, and it's amazing, and I love it. That's one of the perks of being a Black woman. Like, yes, I can do that. You can't, even though I do, but you can. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was gonna say too. Like, people frown upon it, but I really think that it is a perk, and we can change it up and be so different. And I've had people ask me, well, what does your husband say about it? He loves it. Because with every do comes a new, and he
get a new attitude.
I said, because that Bob life is, I'm telling you, I'm gonna have to bring her back. She got to make a comeback because that Bob life is yes. You know what I mean? So yeah, he loves it because he loves me. And I think we put value in in the things that we shouldn't be putting value in. You know what I mean? If somebody is for you, they for you, period. Whether it don't matter. Whether you light skin, dark skin, shapy, hippie, or skinny, up or down. You know what I mean? Like, so, and again, I go back to the quality over quantity. Like, y'all can have that. Y'all can have that. Like, miss me with it.
Seriously. Like, seriously. I thank God that I finally get it now, because there's some grown people, I mean, growner than us, that still don't get it. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's really not about all of that. At the end of the day, you're not leaving this earth with all of that. You're not leaving this earth with all the clothes and the weaves and the lashes and you're not. You know what I'm saying? And I truly believe my husband, because I feel like he coming soon. Like, I really feel it. I really do. My husband is going to love every part of me just as much as your husband loved every part of me. I truly believe that. Chocolate and contacts. Absolutely. And all. Bonnet at night. Flexi rods. Everything. He going to love it all.
You better know it. and I'm telling you, and it's men out there who do.
I'm sure.
So whatever. Well, that was short and sweet. I think it was short and sweet.
Yeah, I think so. I think we did pretty good.
I'm like, at the end of the day, do you, boo?
Do you.
Boo.
Boo. Because I'm going to do me and you going to do you.
I don't know that song, but I'm sure I'm going to do me.
I don't even know if that's a song. It just felt right. It just felt right in my spirit. It felt right in my soul.
Well, then, let that be that.
Period.
Period.